Welcome to Cuba. We have arrived here. It's just as beautiful as we remembered from last time and expect, of course, it to be. Well, first I could smell the smell of farm and dirt and trees from afar, and then we could see it about 10 nautical miles out. And I breathed a sigh of relief when we saw the island already. We've already been visited by some local fishermen. We weren't prepared to start delivering aid. We've got everything in waterproof bags and waterproof containers, but we managed to dig out some beans, some rice, some tomato paste for flavoring meals, and Robbie even dug out some fishing gear that we have for donation as well. We think that here in the most isolated parts of the island, where it must be difficult for people to have access to Havana, it's a good idea to start handing out aid. We still have to tack our way all the way upwind to Havana to officially arrive here on the island. Also, we've had a little bit of worry. As soon as we arrived here, we saw that other boats in the flotilla had not arrived, even though they left earlier, several days earlier than us from Isla Mujeres. We're in touch with people in the Isla Mujeres and the other nearby sailing groups to try and locate in any way possible. Maybe people even just see them out while they're sailing in this area in the Gulf Stream. The boats have not communicated for days, almost a week now, which is worrying. There's a lot of people on board. They're loaded down with aid like we are. So we are hoping that they are just behind schedule, and maybe they're having power issues or issues with their communication devices. But it is possible for this 300 or so nautical miles to take a week or more to arrive in Havana. It's an upwind slog. The wind's been blowing from the location that we're heading towards. It's been blowing like this for days and days, a week, and it will continue to blow like this in this direction pretty strong for the next week. So we're doing everything we humanly can do to find them, to communicate with them, and anybody, even if they arrive somewhere on the island here that doesn't have cell phone signal, anybody who sees them come in or anything like that can then communicate online that they've been spotted. Yeah, it just goes to show that it's not a walk in the park to deliver aid to Cuba. We're not large vessels. We can't just motor in the direction we need to go. We're not giant cargo ships. We can't just go from point A to point B without a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, a little bit of risk. And ultimately, it shouldn't be this way. We're happy to sail. We're happy to use the privilege that we have to sail to bring much needed materials that people need. But at the same time, there's an entire system that other countries get to utilize. Other countries are not blocked from receiving the essentials of life, like fuel. Other countries can trade as they please. Other countries don't have an embargo that causes them to make roundabout choices and complications of getting something essential such as fuel. This is a man-made problem. This is a US government-caused problem. They are purposefully blocking government institutions here on the island from receiving necessities such as fuel. But then small actions like this, the fishermen were really happy, and it's good to just let them know that we stand with them, that the rest of the world stands in solidarity with them, that we don't agree with the larger, more powerful government's actions.